Well, it starts with this jaded police detective, and there's already an ongoing case of a missing girl, and there's protests and stuff like that when police are already working on it, but they have no new leads, so it's getting postponed and delayed. But there's protests from the girl's mother leading the group, and she's putting pressure on the police department, and obviously they are just doing their job, and you know it's not like if the mom is going to say give me back my daughter, it's not like the next day they're just going to get back the daughter. It's a process, and it has to go through that. And um so yeah, that was ongoing at first, and then at the end of episode one, we see another dead body of the girl. That's of course that's in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything, but that happens. So the entire show revolves around solving that mystery, who killed that girl. And there's a lot of amazing characters in this show, and every single so it's the premise is, revolving around that one particular case. But since it's Mare of Easttown, Easttown is basically a small town where everyone knows each other. So because of that, it's giving us a lot of characters that are interconnected somehow. Had some sort of connection in the past or some sort of connection in the present. Some of them are related. So a lot of stuff like that makes it very interesting, and they're not sidelined or anything like that. A lot of them have pretty good arcs throughout the show, and especially with the daughter of Mayor. I really liked her story as well, right up until the end. um uh Usually shows like this, they tend to focus just on the main story, and then they sideline everything else. But this was pretty good. They're pretty good in weaving together everything and all the characters and making every single one of them important to the story, and I loved that. And I also liked the fact that there's some um lightness to it as well. There's some humor. There's, she goes on dates and stuff like that, so there's um that as well. But yeah, I really really enjoyed it. The every week the episodes were really gripping, and the suspense was great. I did not see the ending coming at all. They build up to something, and I was so there's different layers of reveals that happen at the end, and I predicted some of them, but didn't predict the very last one that happens. And I don't think anyone can predict that. That's just impossible. But they did a pretty good job at that, and I was really surprised. And it was so emotional too, the ending, because of something that happened. And pretty much the finale was just top tier, HBO again. It just the whole show was great, yes, but the finale was just very special. It was amazing. What do you think? You're muted.
Apologies. I think it's the most successful show on HBO since HBO Max launched.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think HBO Max it wasn't running right. It was stopping for people, and it kind of crashed because so many people were tuning in. Now, is that because they were tuning in, or because HBO Max needs to sort out their software? Probably a bit of both, you know. But yeah. So Kate Winslet's in this, of course, as the main character. She's brilliant. And yeah, as you said, she's playing a detective who's working on this case of a missing girl from years ago or a year prior, and they've made no ground. And then there's a new murder, but they bring an outside detective is brought in to work on the case with her, which is played by Evan Peters. and it was awesome seeing Evan Peters show up
Yeah.
and done right this time instead of one division. But I was taken aback because he's playing this kind of older detective, and he's very like he doesn't look old. So I was kind of like, I don't really buy it, but then after you see him a little bit on screen, you're like, oh, it's Evan Peters, and he's doing a pretty good job here, and he's a very likable character. And I kind of wanted him and Kate Winslet's character to kind of get together, even though it didn't seem that right because it seemed like there was a massive age difference. But I don't think the characters had that massive age
Yeah.
difference. But yeah, they're looking for clues for this murder and for the missing woman from a year prior as well. And as you said, there's different kind of unraveling of the plot. One thing's revealed, you think that's the kind of main thing. That's that person did it. Then the next thing is discovered, and the whole thing is turned on its head. And they don't do it for shock value to say, "Oh, gotcha." It actually makes sense. They actually show the perspective of where it
Yes.
makes sense. And you're talking about the big reveal of who did it. With these type of shows, it's a murder show, and we've seen these millions of times on TV. Sometimes done well, sometimes not. So you're always looking out as a viewer to think, "Oh, that person did it. No, that person did it." So somebody surely did guess who did it because it presents you a list of people, and then it presents you a list of people that you would think would never do
Yeah.
it. And to be honest, we're all going to be right somewhere because it's not just one. There's kind of people
Yeah.
involved on purpose and then not on purpose. This is just what happened. And like as you said, the town's very small, so everyone knows each other. Like Maher, Kate Winslet's character, her cousin's the priest. She's got this big family. You I think the girl that was murdered as well, she's kind of tied to her some way, second cousin, third cousin, something like that. So everyone, it's a very close together story. And even the girl that goes missing years prior, and there's protests against the police. The mother of that child works in a shop where Kate Winslet's character goes in and buys her groceries, stuff like that. It's very close. That's how small the town is. But I thought it was pretty good. Some of the shots are pretty nice as well, and performances are all good. It's a top-notch show, and I don't think that the twists were done out of shock value. I think they were done out to for the story, and they made sense.
Yeah.
So for the very last shock, I was a little bit shocked because we're told this character did it. We're told this is how it happened. But then more unravels and more unravels. You're like, oh, okay. So it's very hard to get it right. But I think everybody at least gets it right maybe once,
Yeah.
because the show keeps going on. And then you're looking at your runtime. So there's 40 minutes
Right.
left. Is this it? And like there has to be some other twist to it. So then it leaves it very small of who else could be involved. So you might get it that way. But yeah, I thought it was a good one. It's not a deep show or anything like that. It's very much on the surface. But Kate Winslet's character has gone through a lot. She's lost some family members, and she's single, and she's trying to run her family and deal with the case and protests against her as a cop. Well, yeah, I think it was pretty good. And will there be a season two? I don't think it needs a season two
Oh,
too much. I don't think the
it's a
story
it's a
set up
limited series, so
for
it
season
won't
two.
get season two.
Yeah, but the Kate Winslet said she'd come back for season two.
Really?
The creator though said he doesn't want to.
Yeah, I mean, it was a
One season
limited
thing. And I
series, so
think,
I don't think they will get to renew it anyway. you know?
yeah, yeah. But there's a big shock value in this show as well because of certain things that happen. I was like, one scene in particular, I wasn't expecting it to happen. A certain character, but yeah, there's lots of shocks and then lots of twists, and it's a good watch. It's definitely a good watch. It's definitely worth your time.
Yeah, I would absolutely highly recommend this one. And it's just 7 episodes. You can watch it in one weekend, so go ahead and definitely watch it. Also, I liked the friend character. I forgot the name. Lori, I think, is the name. Mayor's friend. I think her character was amazing. Probably the best character, or at least my favorite character. It was her story arc was amazing until the end. Like I said, every character gets importance, gets screen time, gets a story and arc throughout the show. So I really like that. There's no one in this
Mm,
in the main cast that doesn't get enough, story or anything like that.
yeah. And Jean Smart was in it as well. She played the older version of Silk's Spectre, is it from Watchmen? That
Yes,
character
she
in the
is
TV show.
amazing.
She's very
Yeah,
funny. She had some of the best comedic
yeah,
moments. She did have the. She was the best. She was the comedic
yeah,
relief, and she was brilliant. And the show was very funny as well.
yeah,
It's not deep and depressing. It's funny, and also Guy Pearce was in it
yeah.
as kind of a love interest to Kate Winslet. He was in Iron Man two, one of those Iron Mans. I
Three,
think three.
three,
Iron Man
three.
three was it? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he was in this as well. Small, not amazing role, but it was still cool to see him pop up.
Yeah, he's always cool. So
Yeah, but Mare of Easttown, definitely check it out
yeah.
on HBO Max, HBO Go, HBO. Here it's a different place. Wherever you are, wherever you watch your HBO content, that's where it's available. And the most viewed show on HBO Max, HBO since HBO Max launched, which is pretty big.
There's another HBO show called The Undoing. That is also very good. So if you like this show, definitely go ahead and check that one out because again, that stars Nicole Kidman and she's also amazing in that. So definitely check it out.
Yeah,
And Hugh Grant, both of them are amazing in that.
yeah. And hiding TK has a few comments if you want to bring them up there.
Yes. You know, she never saw. Okay, spoiler. Neither did I, and I'm glad for it. Or boner. Lol, he's not having good endings in these series lately. Why hiding? Why?
Well, look, he was done dirty in one division, but I think here he's a bit more presented in a better way and a better performance as well.
Yes. Yes, yes, and
Yeah,
yes. I agree with your comments, but
there's
I
the
won't say anything.
yeah, there's certain stuff about the diaries and about
Yeah.
a character whose brother's on drugs. I don't want to say why they make sense, but they do make sense if you think about them a little
Yes.
bit harder. Why they were trying to cover up certain things. So
There's
yeah, once you see the show,
there's a lot of
you'll
things
understand.
that they do here to confuse us and, you know, put the blame on someone or just trying to shift the blame or suspicion to other people, but because of the good writing, it feels very organic and feels very much motivated by those characters and within their character traits. So that is pretty good. Otherwise it would have just felt like, oh, they're just purposely doing this to uh screw us away. But yeah.
Yeah, and like it's 7 episodes, an hour long, and it's worth your time. Kate Winslet will probably win a few awards for this, I would say. And the creator of this was one of the writers on The Way Back with Ben Affleck as well.
Yes,
So he's had some pretty good stuff. And Out of the Furnace with Christian Bale. So he's a good resume, and this you won't be disappointed. It's not a waste of time watching the show.
absolutely. And if you see the show, make sure you comment down below and let us know what you think. You can also tweet at us what you thought because we want to know what our followers like and what kind of content they prefer. So it would be really helpful.